Greetings, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. In this session, we will explore the process of selecting the appropriate suture needles for surgical procedures. Choosing the right tools is essential for ensuring a successful surgery, and that includes selecting the correct sutures and, most importantly, the appropriate suture needles, the focus of today's presentation. Let's begin by breaking down the key components of a suture needle. Every needle consists of three main parts: the tip, the working end that penetrates the tissue; the swage, the opposite end where the suture material is attached; needle body, the section connecting the tip and the swage, which determines the needle's shape and function. The needle length is measured from the tip to the swage, typically along the curvature of the body. These needles come in various sizes, ranging from as small as 6 to 7 millimeters to as large as 30 to 37 millimeters, depending on the type of suturing required for a given procedure. Now, let's take a closer look at two primary types of needle bodies: cutting needles and taper needles. Cutting needles. These have a triangular body with a sharp edge along their length, making them ideal for tougher tissues such as skin. Taper needles. Featuring a smooth, round body and a pointed tip, these needles are designed to gently separate rather than cut through delicate tissues like subcutaneous layers and the gastrointestinal tract. Within the category of cutting needles, we have two main variations: conventional cutting needles and reverse cutting needles. On conventional cutting needles, the sharp apex of the triangular body is positioned along the inner curve of the needle. On reverse cutting needles, the sharp apex is located on the outer curve of the needle. This design reduces tissue damage and is especially beneficial for suturing skin edges, as it prevents the suture thread from cutting into the tissue. Suture needles come in different shapes, each designed for specific applications. Curved needles. The most commonly used type, ideal for narrow surgical fields and situations with limited space. They are categorized by their curvature, such as a quarter, 3/8, 1/2, or 5/8 of a circle. Straight needles. Previously used for tension sutures, but now less common due to the increased risk of needle stick injuries. Combination needles. A hybrid type, including partially straight needles with slightly curved tips, as well as J-shaped needles for specialized applications. When selecting a suture needle, the packaging provides key information. A circular symbol indicates a tapered needle. Two triangular symbols represent cutting needles. Conventional cutting needles have the triangle apex pointing upward. Reverse cutting needles have the triangle apex pointing downward. For example, if we examine the label of this suture pack, we can see a 19 millimeter needle with a 3/8 circle shape and a reverse cutting needle symbol, which, as we discussed, has the triangle pointing downward. That concludes our introduction to suture needles. Thank you for your time and attention. I hope this session has provided valuable insights into selecting the right needle for each surgical procedure.